Welcome to Big Blend Radio, where we celebrate variety and how it adds spice to quality of life. Today, as we say goodbye to the month of January, which is also National Staying Healthy Month, and we slowly move towards the renewal of spring in March, we wanted to share healthy but fun travel experiences you can enjoy. This episode features 3 travel writers, all whom you may have heard on Big Blend Radio. We start off with Barbara Redding, who talks about her experiences at the Fairmont Tazi Palace in Tangier, Morocco. Yes, we do talk about camels and we do talk about mint tea. Then Debbie Stone takes us to sunny Palm Springs in Southern California, where she visited the spa at Sekhe, one of the most luxurious hot mineral spring spa destinations in the country. We close the show with Kathleen Walls, who takes us to the endless mountains of Pennsylvania. They have their own Grand Canyon, but it's also a pristine nature experience without cars, no cars. So we're talking fresh, clean air. And this is a place you can experience on foot, on bicycle, on horseback, but also in an old covered wagon. So please enjoy the show and be sure to check out the episode notes where we link to the articles that the writers have written, and also you can follow their websites. Thanks for joining us. Stay healthy and stay safe and enjoy your happy travels. So travel writer Barbara Redding is here on Big Blend Radio, and she has got an amazing destination she's going to talk about when it comes to health, luxury, relaxing. I think she's taking us to Morocco. I encourage you to go to her website, barbararedding.com. And so welcome back, Barbara. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well today. How about you?
Doing good, doing good. I'm excited to talk about, relaxing, healthy travels. And I believe you're taking us to Tangier, the Fairmont Tazi Palace. Did I even pronounce this correctly?
You did. Yeah, it's a beautiful luxury property that opened just in the last couple of years. And I was one of the first travel writers to visit. And it's just a gorgeous facility. It was originally envisioned as the home of someone close to the Sultan at the time. But the politics in the country changed and it was never actually fully built. So the Fairmont Hotel took the property, which has amazing views of the old city, and developed it into a luxury hotel that has lots of wonderful health and wellness opportunities for visitors, for guests.
Yeah, I'm looking at your article, travelweekly.com, and everyone, the link for Barbara's website and this article and the episode notes. I'm also putting a link to her article about Morocco in our Big Weekly Blend magazine, because that was cool. She got on a camel. I think you needed this after a camel ride, right? Is
that right? Actually, it was before the camel ride. I probably could have used it after, but I did also visit some other sites that had some health and wellness opportunities. And actually, riding a camel is a very, well, I don't know if I can call it relaxing, but it is an interesting experience, and also gives you a real interesting, a different perspective on the desert when you're on top of a camel. But at any rate, back to the Fairmont Tazi Palace. They have like almost an Olympic-sized swimming pool where you can spend the day just lolling in the sun. They also have an amazing spa area, and with a full gym and a yoga studio, and also a restaurant that's devoted to providing healthy food to guests. Now, they also have, it's one of several restaurants, but I think it was the one that I found the healthiest. So you get to go to the spa and work out, and then dine in this very healthy restaurant. It's a great combination.
Oh, and then also, it looks like the rooms are luxurious with beautiful views, and even from the pool is amazing views, but you're in a busy city in Morocco. I mean, this is like an international city, and at the same time, you say there's gardens in your article. You were talking about these beautiful gardens that you say you don't really feel like you're in a city, but you are.
True. The property is a little bit outside the city, but it's the way it's situated on this hillside. It's kind of secluded, and so you get wonderful views, but there isn't anyone like right next to you, and they have terraced the property, so there are these gorgeous gardens that kind of go down from the palace, which kind of sits at the top of a hill, and it's kind of like everywhere you go there are really spectacular views. Like, I found one of the best views is actually from the yoga studio and the
Oh,
workout
wow.
facility. You can just look out the window while you're working out, and just it's just just a gorgeous view down to the Mediterranean Sea.
What were the rooms like? I mean, because I see the ones have balconies, it looks like, and they look just pretty luxurious, and
Yes,
artful.
yes, the rooms were really gorgeous, and you have lots of space as well as just a beautiful, luxurious bathroom with a big tub that you can fill up and relax in. And actually, you have views from the bathtub itself out a window that has some protection so no one's watching you. But it is just gorgeous. And one of my favorite things to do was to in the mornings to get up and watch the sunrise,
Mm.
mostly because I had jet lag and I couldn't sleep. But
Sure.
but the terrace was just one of my favorite places to hang out in the morning.
Yeah, and looking at the food, it looks really healthy, like you said. It seems that it's like a Mediterranean diet almost over there. But then you've also got, like, Morocco's famous mint tea, which I believe has medicinal qualities personally. Mint tea to me is a go-to for everything and anything. It's a must. Everyone must drink it,
Yes,
whether
I
you like it or
agree.
not.
And it was everywhere. And through my travels in Morocco, it was kind of like in the U.S. We kind of roll into a Starbucks and get a cup of coffee. But everywhere you go in Morocco, it is mint tea, and it's lovely. The Tangier, which had was influenced by the French, the Spanish, and the English, um, has often many of the luxurious hotels like the Tazi Palace have afternoon tea, and I was able to participate in an afternoon tea session there, and it was quite elaborate in terms of the snacks as well as the variety of tea that was offered. It was
Mm.
just pretty amazing.
Would you say Morocco as a whole looks at taking time out, drinking tea, kind of looking, when you look at the blue zones, it's not just about the food and, the healthy ingredients. It's about slowing down and taking those breaks. Even though, you look at like Tangier City, a bustling city, um, look at Cairo and all of that, but at the same time, it seems like the people there know to take time out and have an affinity towards wellness in regards to what they eat, and then also in regards to, I know that there's baths. I remember when we talked about Morocco, over a year and a half ago, you were talking about there were like baths that people could go to as well.
Yes, they're called hammams in Morocco, and it is a version of the traditional Turkish bath house. Now, the Fairmont, their spa area, they also offer hammam treatments, which again is a version of, I guess, what we know more commonly as as a spa treatment. But it's a little bit different, and you're in like a steam bath area, and then an attendant scrubs you down in probably the most vigorous way that I've ever had a spa treatment. And they use different types of oils, to treat your body after the scrub down. So it's similar to spa treatments, but kind of unique to some of the countries that are along the Mediterranean, including Morocco and Turkey.
Nice, nice. I want to go. Would you go back?
Oh, I would definitely go back. I really liked um, Tangiers. It's just a kind of an interesting mix of old and new. It's not as bustling as Casablanca, which is kind of the business
Mm,
capital
okay.
of the country. Um, but the old city is just a rabbit's warren of different, narrow streets and interesting shopping places and small hotels. I found Tangier to be a really fascinating part of Morocco. It also has kind of a mysterious air. One of the kind of the cool features of this hotel is that they had a kind of a secret room that you had to kind of enter through a secret doorway.
Whoa, wait a
And it
minute.
kind of
Speakeasy.
captures kind of the mystery of the city, which was, in the day was kind of a hangout for spies and journalists, particularly like during World War II and the Cold War. And so it just has this kind of mysterious air about it that
Mm.
I just fell in love with.
Oh man. I do want to go. And I don't know why I brought up Cairo. I mean, it's Egypt. Cairo's Egypt, everyone. I'm not stupid. But I don't, we have a friend going to Egypt right now and she's on Cairo Air. So somehow my mind went Cairo. But you've been there too, right? I know you've got to have been to Cairo.
Yes, yes. I would say Tangiers and Casablanca are not quite that
Yeah.
overwhelming, not as overwhelming as Cairo, which has its own, fascinating places, particularly the pyramids, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, I know. We haven't done that part yet, but I mean, the call of mint tea and just the food. I think the food is really fascinating what they do, and even with preserves and using lemon and just it's just like a healthy, wonderful. It's just wonderful, you know. So I'm
Yeah,
so glad.
I
Hmm.
love the food in Morocco, and as I said, the Tazi Palace restaurants were just really gourmet in terms of everything that they served from fresh fish dishes to the vegetables and everything was just was so delicious. I was
Mm.
they just have so many fresh ingredients, and breakfast is amazing with the pastries were wonderful, and the head chef there was came from one of the most famous hotels in Marrakesh, and the food was just top notch.
No wonder she wants to go back. I
Yes,
mean,
I
you've got
do.
pools, you've got baths, you've got spa treatments, you've got luxury hotels, beautiful views, and yeah, this sounds good. And you got camels. Everybody wants to, hang out with camels. I do. I love camels. Well, thank you so much, Barbara. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And everyone, again, barbararedding.com. Links to her articles about Morocco are in the episode notes as well. And you'll hear her on Big Blend Radio soon, starting on Sunday with our live world party. We might have to get her to talk about Morocco again, but she's been all over the world. How many countries now do you think you've been to? Or should I not
Well,
ask that?
I haven't added them up lately, but I think I'm close to 60 now.
That's pretty darn good, huh? Wow. Wow. And jet lag is all part of it, no matter what you do. It's just like, I think we all, like I told people I don't have a clock anymore. Then I realized you just have permanent no time zone. And it's like sometimes I just sleep, like I catch up. Like suddenly my body says you are catching up and then pretty much don't run on sleep. I don't,
Yes,
you know what
right.
I mean? Isn't that weird? Like we have to go, 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 go. And you're exciting and you catch a few hours here and there. And then all of a sudden your body goes, that's it. You're out. You're done. You need to sleep. And that's part of wellness in these kinds of destinations where you get to spend that time, but it's real quality time to, especially as travelers. Travel wears you down as much as it's fun, exciting, fascinating, educational, immersive. It can be tiring. So I think when you can add in these kinds of experiences to your travels, it keeps you going longer and your body thanks you. I think your body knows as soon as you do something positive for it. It says, thank you, let's do more.
Right. I think that's true, and I think that if you can stay in a luxury hotel like the Tazi Palace, it's relaxing as soon as you walk into the hotel. It's just such a beautiful space. The beds are comfortable, the bathroom's luxurious. It just enhances your ability to relax and enjoy your time at that destination.
And you know what? It's okay to order room service in hotels like that and be able to be
Definitely.
on the terrace, right? And have your
Yes,
tea or your coffee looking out on these views and not maybe rush off the first thing, enjoy that moment.
that's true.
Always enjoy
That's
that moment.
absolutely
So
true.
awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Barbara. Happy and safe travels to you. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Lisa. Enjoyed it.
So we're talking about healthy and fun travel. So, travel is always fun. It's adventurous, but there's also this health component, and a lot of us travel for the health of it, right? And so Debbie Stone is back on the show. Debbie is a travel writer, a world traveler. She also has a Big Blend Radio Global Adventures with Debbie podcast that comes out every fourth Tuesday and here on Big Blend Radio. And she wanted to share an experience that she had at the spa at Sekhe in Palm Springs, California. Now, we've done so much on Palm Springs over the years, but have not talked about this very new destination that seems pretty epic, like a big wellness center with hot springs. Like, this is fascinating. I know Debbie likes hot springs, and we do call her the fire monkey from her time in Bhutan. And I just want to say the fire monkey got into hot water in Palm Springs. But welcome back, Debbie. How are you?
I'm fine.
I've been
Yes,
sitting on
I
that
did
all
get
day.
in. I did get in some hot water. Yes, that is very, very, very good. But it was good hot water. It was not bad hot water. So
I love this because I know you love to incorporate wellness into your travel, and because you do a ton of travel and a huge amount of hiking. I mean, you're a healthy traveler, but you do and have your wine and you'll taste beer and you'll, do all that kind of stuff. But you are pretty much like the epitome of a very healthy traveler. And how many countries now? Just to kind of get back to that, like in how
it's
many countries?
it's really close. It's in the 90s now. I have not
Wow.
counted recently, but it's
So being
in the
healthy
90s.
is important, for you to be able to be well and travel so much and keep up with your schedule. So when you go to spas, I can literally every time you send an article and I can feel like, and here you go, I need this. I need to do this. Is that how it feels for you when you go to spas like this?
I really love spas. I mean, I don't know too many people who don't like them, but I love them because they just offer, wonderful, I don't know, solutions to sore muscles, to, stress, to everything. And it just, I don't know, I love to be able to incorporate them, like you said, in my travels. It's wonderful to be able to stop into a spa and enjoy a treatment or soaking. It breaks up the travel, I think, in a very healthy, like you said, a healthy manner. And I've been to a lot of different spas over the years, so many different spas.
All over the world.
Yes, all over the world. This one really gets, it gets top billing in my book. And like I said, I've been to so many of them. So this one is really special. I'd seen the pictures and read about it, but I was not expecting it to be so. First of all, it's a very large place, but it's just beautifully done, beautifully laid out with all the bells and whistles and wonderful options for men and women, both, women alone, men alone, women and men together. There's all these different options and different treatments and different pools and, different ways to give yourself a real break, I think.
Well, getting to that is, you're a travel writer, you are always on the go. And I know you probably have a little bit of what I have is that my brain is always going too. So sometimes it takes, like, I try to meditate, but I think the best meditating I'm getting right now is a cat purring on me because it's like if you move, they may do the kneading again with their claws. So it
Ooh,
like helps, makes you kind of settle in. But it's hard to kind of do the calmness on your own, especially when you're thinking, oh, I got to pack, I got to go here, I got to do this, I got to pay this bill before we go, all of that kind of stuff. But sometimes when you go to a destination, it's like your brain is already preparing. It's, it already knows, okay, you're going here, you need to prepare, you're going to slow the heck down. And then when you get there, it's like, hate to use the word monkey again, but it calms the monkey mind down because you're in an experience. And I think these kinds of spas, and from reading your article and everyone, it's linked in the episode notes, and also go to the spa at seche.com, and that's SECHE. So just look in the episode notes. It When you get into those experiences, I think your brain does actually say, okay, I give over. It's time to relax.
absolutely. And I think one of the reasons a spa is so special it is a natural mineral hot spring. So it's owned by the Agua Caliente band of Cahuilla Indians, and it's a really state-of-the-art 73,000 square foot property. And seke means, it translates to the sound of boiling water. So it is a very ancient, 12,000-year-old, the water has been there, and it exists 8,000 feet below the surface. And, it has a lot of wonderful history and was a sacred area for the Agua Caliente people. And so, they had bathhouses there, but it wasn't until, probably around 2015 to 2000 and early 20s that they decided they were going to completely redo the existing infrastructure. And so it opened in 2023, and it really is a premier destination for relaxation, for rejuvenation. And, you can taking the Waters Day Pass, which is what I did. So you get access to all these amenities, and, you can take a soak in, and they have 22 private mineral baths, which is pretty amazing. And there's a fitness center if you want to work out. There's, plunge pools, aromatherapy showers, there's steam rooms, and then there's this thing called the earthing zone, which I thought was incredible, where you have these vibrational loungers and these zero gravity chairs, and you just really tune yourself out, and you get into a deeper state of relaxation. And there's also salt caves and, regular pools and all sorts of, you can go from one pool to another pool, from, one nap to another nap, which is what I did. And, it feels so wonderful. And not only that, they've got this wonderful, they've got cafes that have really good, healthy food and drinks. And so, you can be there, and people are, for the whole day.
Wow. So it's like, so if you go to Palm Springs, like, in Palm Springs, you've got, oh my gosh, you can go up on the tramway. You can do like a whole vacation of this. And Palm Springs is just, there's no place like Palm Springs, period, in the area.
Agreed.
Like, it's just, and you got Joshua Tree National Park in your backyard, lots of hiking, lots of nature. Of course, you've got the shopping and all of that. Wonderful lodgings all around, independent hotels, with boutique hotels, and very diverse community, very open, and a wonderful welcoming, which is really cool to have. And then the reality with this, with what you're saying, you could go back and forth, you go for the day. I could see it as, like a getaway, for, mom and daughter day or something like that, to before you're getting married, go relax the nerves. Take the mother-in-law. Sorry, Debbie, because I know you played that role of mother-in-law. Take the mom-in-laws before the wedding to the spa. But I love all the different components that they have, even a fitness and a workout. Whereas like here, you're relaxing, and the chairs that you were talking about, I thought were interesting because it's a no touch thing. So for people that don't want like the physical human touching your body, this would be an option, right? Because I know a lot of people who will not do spas or wellness things. And I'm going, yo, there's other things you can get in the water. You don't have, there's all these other ways of getting those benefits. And it seems like this is a place for people who want that kind of experience.
I think it offers a lot of different experiences. So if you don't want a massage and you don't, like you said, want people, massaging you, touching you, whatever it is, they have a number of these things. The no-touch therapy, the chairs are wonderful. All the hot tubs are incredible. The mineral water experiences, the halo therapy with salt caves. I mean, all of this you can do on your own and at your own pace, at your own comfort level, which is to me wonderful. And then if you really want the full hands-on experience, well then go get all these massages, get a facial, get everything, get reflexology, whatever. But there's options for everyone.
The salt, did you feel like the salt part is good for you? Because we've done some interviews recently on the benefits of salt. And so, yes, you're saying, there's a salt cave and things like that. How was that for you?
I've been in a number of them, and I've done even stories. There's one here locally where I live in Santa Fe, and it's really people think, well, is there really something happening to me? I mean, it's very relaxing, very peaceful. You can sit down, lie down. They have lounge chairs or benches. You can even read a book in there, and you might not realize that anything is really going on in your body, but you're going to feel a difference, I think, when you leave. In my case, I felt like my lungs, I breathed deeper, like they had been cleansed. I, also felt like I had done a bit of a meditation session. I closed my eyes and just take in, just being in a quiet place and, in this halotherapy, in this salt, and inhaling those particles. It helps to remove bacteria, and it's really good for inflammation as well. But, even so, it's just peaceful and relaxing. And I think for me, I felt like I was breathing deeper.
What was your favorite spot for you? At the spa?
I think all these different pools were wonderful. I
like the idea that you can even be by a waterfall in a pool. That sounds good. That's nice.
Oh, it was wonderful, because that's also the added option of having, this auditory component of water, which I love that component. It's just such a nice thing. I love when I go hiking and I go to a waterfall, a lake, a river, or whatever it is, but it's that extra added benefit to the experience.
So a lot of good stuff happening in Palm Springs. That's good to hear. And I love that it's in the downtown, which you wouldn't expect, right? So
Absolutely.
It's right in the heart of downtown.
Right there, right off the main street, a block or two off the main street. It's so convenient and easy. And, I just think, everyone, Palm Springs, a lot of people are familiar with it. And they go for various reasons, whether, like you said, it was, all these, and they have tennis and hiking and many different things. And the shopping and the food scene is great too. And the art scene is incredible. It's mid-century, they've got wonderful architecture, wonderful museums. Their art museum is fabulous. And so, you have all these options as to activities and things that you can do. And if you want to just completely relax, I highly recommend spending some time at this place.
So everyone, the spa at Sekhe Palm Springs is the place. The link for Debbie's article is in the episode notes, so check that out, and that'll take you to the website as well. And I love this because there's just so many different things. Like you're saying, you can go for a treatment from a massage. You can even have heated gemstones on your body. That sounds pretty cool, actually.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of skincare, and there's something about the desert, it's
Mm.
ancient. And
Yeah.
to be in the desert and be in that kind of setting, I don't know, it's like a whole wellness retreat, to have. So, yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Debbie. I hope you enjoy your travels. Everyone, again, Debbie is on Big Blend Radio every fourth Tuesday with her Global Adventures with Debbie Stone podcast with us, and she travels everywhere. So have fun on your next trip.
All right. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
So as part of our healthy travel and fun travel show today on Big Blend Radio, we have Kathleen Walls back on the show. Kathleen is a travel writer and also an author of fiction and nonfiction. Her nonfiction and fiction get into murders and ghosts and all kinds of things, but she also does a lot of travel guides. Well, today she's going to take us out into nature, out into an area where there's no cars. And that's part of when we think about healthy travel, it's what about the environment that we're in, the surroundings. And she's going to take us to Pennsylvania's Grand Canyon, right, Katie? Welcome back.
Right.
How are you?
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this area.
Well, the Grand Canyon is something I hadn't even heard of before I went there. And we started out visiting, looking down into the Grand Canyon from Leonard Harrison State Park, where you could look down and see it. But of course, there was cars and traffic. And then we took a trip down there, and that was like stepping back into the 1800s before we had pollution and traffic and cars and all of the things that have helped hurt our environment. We took an old covered wagon tour. We began with a rustic ranch looking outpost, and they had two wagons with big horses that drew it. Our horses was Peanut and Patches. The other horse was Reuben and Jesse. And they pulled us down. And once we got onto this trail, it was at one time had been a Pine Creek. It's called Pine Creek Rail Trail because at one time it had been a railroad line. And it runs down at the bottom of the canyon. And once you get on the trail, the only vehicles allowed are bikes, covered wagons like we were in, hikers, horseback riders. The closest I could come, they'd let an electric bike come, but no motor vehicles. So it was like stepping back into an earlier time. We drove down the road. We continued for almost an hour and a half. We passed a few old buildings. We could see across the creek. The Pine Creek, there was a place, our guide told us that 3 presidents had fished there. President Roosevelt, President Carter, and President, I forget which the other one had fished there. Eisenhower, Roosevelt, and Carter had fished in this because the trout are so great, because the river is so isolated and not polluted. And all the trees and the flowers are absolutely beautiful there. There's goldenrod was in bloom, and there were these little yellow wing stems that looked like a daisy with little tiny petals. And as we drove through it, she told us how at one time they had been very heavily forested, and the forest had been cut down for the lumber industry. And then the CCC came in, put out, and the fires would start up because of the lumbering, the dead trees. And we passed what was once a CCC campground called Darling Run, and now it's set up as primitive camping because there's, obviously no vehicles, but you can tent camp in there. It was such a strange experience. We rode all the way down to the end. Meanwhile, there's like every 5 miles on this trail, there's a restroom stop. But other than that, there's a few buildings on the other side of the creek, but nothing on this side of the creek. It's just trees and mountains, and absolutely beautiful. And we got down. It is gorgeous.
I was going to just tell everyone real quick that Katie's got a whole write-up about the whole region that includes the wagon tours, and that is on her website, American Roads, and you can go right to AmericanRoads.net. The link is in the episode notes as always. Plus, I'm going to put a link in directly to the wagon tour company because you can go to allcoveredwagon.com. These tours look amazing. It's so beautiful. And I think for people looking for fall, it would be nice too. So didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted people
That's
to be
okay.
able to click through and listen and see how beautiful it is.
Right. And it was just beginning, the leaves were just beginning to turn, but yet the plants, the flowers were still blooming. So it was kind of the best of both worlds. It was absolutely gorgeous. We got to as far as we were going, the end of the trail. Uh, trail continued, but as far as our covered wagon went, and there's a place called Little 4 Mile Falls, and that stopped there, unhitched the horses and let them graze for about half an hour. And we roamed around. We climbed up the falls, Adams Falls, I'm sorry, is the name of it. Climbed up there and looked down at the falls, and it really was sort of like taking a trip in time, like stepping back to days when that was how people traveled. There were no cars, no pollution. It must have been a wonderful feeling to have lived at that time. And I don't think
Wow.
our cell
So,
phones were even working other than to take pictures. Nobody's rang when we were on that.
so Wellsboro, so this is like a family owned business that takes you out on this,
Correct.
wagon trails.
Right.
And so you can go hiking, there's biking, there's whitewater
Yes.
rafting
It's
in
a
Pine
public
Creek.
trail. Anyone can go on it, but no motor vehicles. And as I said, there's other places along it besides where we went. We just went out to the falls. The covered wagon trips do two different routes. One is shorter, which stops right at the restroom, which is 5 miles, and then returns, which is still beautiful. But by going all the way to the falls, it was just a heavenly experience.
Wow. So it's good to get out there and have a little,
Right. And that creek,
some
and
clean
this
air.
across the creek, you could see there were a few, very, very few houses. And the deal was when the government bought this land from them, the people who lived there already on the other side of the creek, there's nobody on this side, uh, were allowed to stay in their homes, and their direct descendants through the grandchildren would stay there. But the homes couldn't be rented. They couldn't be sold to anyone. And when the last grandchild passes away, all of that land on both sides of the Pine Creek revert to the government, and it will remain wild and beautiful all the time.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing to have that kind of, nature area, but it looks like
Mm-hmm.
you can also go camping
You can.
and
Primitive
oh,
camping, of course. You have to bring your stuff in there. There were 6 campsites in the one we passed, which, like I said, had once been Civilian Conservation Corps kids camped there. I say kids because they were young men, very young. And yet
this is,
they
yeah.
did wonders for our country.
Wow. Wow. So it's kind of like a step into the past. And
It
hey, there's
is.
wineries out there, so that's
Yeah.
healthy.
And that
That's the
covered
other.
wagon is very realistic. I mean, it's it could have been the kind of covered wagon the pioneers were taking out west. It's just what it felt like. And the horses, very, very friendly, but very, very big horses to be able to pull these massive wagons, filled with people.
Yeah, no. So the Grand Canyon, so I'm trying to figure where this is in Pennsylvania for people to kind
It's
of
with
be
the
able to
area they
follow in.
call near the Endless Mountains,
Okay. The Endless
Wellsboro,
Mountain.
Pennsylvania.
Okay, Wellsboro.
That's where
So
we
everyone,
started out. You're
yeah,
really
but it
not in
seems
any
you went all
city.
over.
You're not in a city there. You start in Wells. You really don't. It's not even in the city of Wellsboro where you start. That's just the closest city to it.
Yeah, so okay. So that's the closest day. Yeah, but there's campsites, there's hiking, there's just
Mhm.
creeks. And Pennsylvania is a gorgeous,
It
gorgeous state.
is, and this was something I had not ever heard about before. Not
Me
even,
neither.
just never thought of it. And even when he took us in, the first place where he took us to the state park and we looked down, you could see way down to the canyon. You can see the trail running through there. And of course, no cars. I mean, just imagine looking at any kind of a road and seeing no cars. That's a treat.
Yeah, you don't
But,
get to see that
and they,
anymore
they
in,
do, they
in
have a lot of
places.
eagles. I didn't get to see an eagle, did see a lot of other hawks and birds flying around, but it's pure nature.
Pure, and that is good for us. When we talk about healthy and fun, this show is all about that. When we
Right.
think about healthy travel, we think, oh, we're not allowed to have that glass of wine. Um,
Yeah. And just
not when I'm
breathing the
traveling.
air.
Yeah.
the air feels so much cleaner and fresher.
Mm. And being able to, when you talk about fishing and the water is clean,
Yeah,
and to find a spot that is clean
yeah.
is hard these days,
And the path follows that. And so many places you look in a creek, you see old bottles thrown in and trash and paper floating in it. And this creek is beautiful, it's fast running and clean.
Yeah, exactly. Ah, that is amazing. That's exciting. That's exciting. I love that you did this, because the fun element too, hanging out with horses, is always fun.
Mhm.
And were they well cared for? I know that you're an
Oh,
animal person like
definitely.
us,
They
so
were
we're always picky about
very
that.
well fed. You could tell the owners loved the horses. I mean, they were part of the family.
Oh, that's cool.
And the
That's
guides,
cool.
both the one on our wagon and the one on the other wagon, were very good historical people. They knew what had happened here and the history of, because this was their home.
Mm. So did you do this as part of the International Food Wine Travel Writers
Right. It was
Association conference?
right. It was a post trip, and there
Oh,
were just
cool.
three of us on it. So it was just. I mean, there were more people on the stagecoach because it was a public event. Other people were on it too, but it was just such a different kind of experience in which usually you're driving around town and your driver's looking for a parking place and you're stopping at red lights, and there was none of that.
I was on their website, and what's great too. So there's museums like you have in your article too, so you can get I always think it's great to get the know of the land when you go somewhere. But you also talk about whitewater rafting down Pine Creek. But they said there's an annual laurel festival. Now, laurel, the flowers are just exquisite. I love laurel, and I I've always heard of it, seen photos from people going out in the Appalachian Mountains,
Mhm.
and finally I got to experience laurel just in its
Oh,
full bloom. And it's like, how we get a little, you know, giddy about lilacs in bloom, right? There's
right.
something about well, the mountain laurel to me is
I
like the lilac,
I
where
have
it
not
just
on this
takes your
trip,
breath away,
but I have
you know?
seen it when I lived up in Blairsville. It's so beautiful. On this trip, the plant that got me was the goldenrod. And you sort of think of goldenrod's almost like a weed, but there were so
Mhm.
many. They were so bright and blooming. It was just all over the place. So beautiful, beautiful.
Well, what a lovely, lovely adventure. I'm so glad you joined us. Katie, always having fun. She's always out there in nature somewhere. Again, the company that she was talking about is allcoveredwagon.com, but her article is up on her site, americanroads.net. The links are in the episode notes. Can't wait to have Katie back on. We're either talking nature, music, or ghosts or history, right? Isn't that
Right.
right? Well, thank you so much. Always
Thanks
fun,
for
Katie.
having me. I have really enjoyed this.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio. Keep up with our shows at bigblendradio.com.